Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. We're going to do a quick video today on my hardware setup and some of the stuff we've got going on here in the room. We get the question in chat pretty often, and I figured it'd be easier if I just had a video to reference of what we've got going on in terms of the equipment that I use to stream. So, let's get to it. Up first, we've got the PC itself, which has a Asus Z270G motherboard, an Intel 7700K CPU at 5 GHz, and 32 gigs of G-Skill Trident Z RGB RAM. Now the RAM itself is running at 3600 megahertz, and it's a 3200 megahertz kit. On top of that, we've got the Asus Strix GTX 1080 that's also overclocked, and the whole thing is being cooled by a ton of the Noctua fans. Now, the reason I chose the Noctuas was because they were the fans that met my requirements in terms of airflow, static pressure, and noise. The only downside was they don't sell RGB Noctuas, and I wanted to kind of go through the theme of the case. And so to do that, I added these Fantech Halos, which essentially will allow you to add RGB to any fan. And so it gave me a good blend of the look I was going for without the cost of performance, because every RGB fan that I gave a shot just didn't really cover it for my needs, and I wasn't really happy with the performance. All of that is encompassed inside of the Corsair Air 240 case. Now up next is a set of headphones. These are custom Beyerdynamic DT770 Pros. I put on the DT770 Premium housings, and then I did the detachable cable mod, modified the housings slightly, and the ports in the housings so they work better for EDM, since I listen to a lot of EDM music, and then replaced all the cables with much heavier gauged microphone wire. Those are being powered by this amplifier over here. This here is the SCHIT SCHIIT Valley 2 tube amplifier. So I essentially can change out this tube here, and it will change the sound signature of the amplifier, allowing me to do what we call tube rolling, and that just kind of lets you customize how your amplifier sounds in terms of the soundstage and whatnot. Now the amplifier is being fed by this over here. This is the M Audio 2x2 M-Track mixer. Now this is a hardware mixer and digital audio converter. So the audio from the PC is sent over this USB cable, and then it comes into here. This turns the digital audio into an analog, which then goes over to the amplifier. That being said, the main reason I use this is for this USB/direct knob. And what it does is when I turn it to the left, I hear less of myself in my headphones through my microphone, and when I turn it more to the right, I hear more of myself in my headphones. So it allows me to speak, and on the fly, kind of hear what I sound like, and it stops me from having to talk so loud. Now, on the left, we've got the gain. So I have hardware gain for my microphone, which comes in handy because then I can adjust my gain levels and all that without actually having to open up any kind of software, and I can just kind of stream without having to worry about interrupting anything. And then this big knob here in the middle, this big knob is just essentially my volume control for the PC. Now feeding this on the audio side is the Audio-Technica AT2035 XLR microphone. I use this microphone, I paired it up with a generic pop filter. Works out pretty well. But I love this microphone, I love the sound signature from it. It's a really good mic, seems really, really reliable, and absolutely no complaints from me. So moving from audio over to the visual aspect, I use two Dell 25-inch bezel-less 2560 by 1440 IPS displays. Now these were important to me because I wanted 1440p displays that were also IPS. Now I wanted to get 144 Hz monitors, but those were very expensive at the time. I think they were about $900 a piece. So I found these panels because I was able to overclock them from 60 Hz to 90 Hz. So I get a faster refresh rate without going all the way to 144. So it's good enough for me, good enough for my uses, and still gives me the color reproduction and overall quality that I'm looking for. As far as interfaces go, I've got the Razer Chroma Black Widow and the Logitech G 502 mouse. I love this thing. It's absolutely amazing. Such a good mouse. I use the same one at work. Actually, same keyboard at work as well. In terms of lighting, we have just kind of a standard desk lamp, and we've got this Zelda-inspired shield lamp, but more importantly, they're both powered by this switch right here. Now, anybody who's seen my streams knows that I stream in a pretty dark environment, and what this allows me to do is, on the fly, I can adjust how bright or how dim, or if they're even on at all, both of these lamps are. So they're fed into a dimmer that works, or that is a splitter as well, to adjust those. Speaking of lighting, also we've got the RGB that I have actually built a custom frame on my door for. So this is some L channel I picked up at the hardware store, painted it, mounted it, sealed it, and then it covers the RGB strip that's behind this. What it does is it gives the door a nice warm glow without actually blinding you when you look at it, because you can't actually see the LED strips. And then the overhead lighting is just controlled by a dimmer, so I can adjust how much light I want for the stream depending on what kind of mood I am in. So we'll turn that up so we can see under here as good as we can. And now this is the wire management segment. So wire management for me is very important. I have a lot of cables, and most importantly for me is how the audio stuff is run. But those three main tracks that you're seeing in front of you here, these are all for the monitors, keyboard, and whatnot. And then this bundle here is actually the audio bundle. Now, these wires run down and under, and it's kind of hard to see here, but they don't actually cross any power cables. And what that does is that allows me to have very low audio feedback, if any, at all. This is the rest of the cables. We've got power strips, power inverters for amplifiers and lighting, and then networking cable. And power cables are all kind of bundled up and tucked neatly away so they don't get in the way. And then this is the Logitech 930 webcam, or 920 webcam. And then also in the room, we've got this here. This is my Auto Royale poster. This was made when we shipped H1Z1 back in February. And I had my friends and obviously co-workers sign it. If you take a quick look, we've even got the signature of good old Ottanel, the cheater beater himself. So we've got that, and then we've got our Astroneer badge, that Lieutenant Toast, and Jay Bolino picked up for us over at PAX when we couldn't go. And then we've got a Less Than Jake magazine clipping that is signed by the band, as well as an album from Jimmy Eat World Futures, also signed by the band. So that pretty much wraps up our segment. Oh, try not to drop this. Our segment here today. Hopefully you guys found it cool. Hopefully you guys found it insightful. Hopefully I got to everything and answered any questions that you guys normally ask in chat. So until next time, my dudes, be excellent to each other. We're all we've got. Take care, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.
There goes nothing.